Good morning. Okay, can you bring a blanket or a towel to the top of your practice mat this morning? Because we are going to use, it's a reminder of a Pilates upper body curl up, and it's with the towel or the blanket. You sort of hold the sides of it and it secures your head and neck, and you wrap and create this really beautiful mindful curl up slash roll up. It's really nice for protecting the neck. It can be kind of just to the top of the shoulders, or you can hold your blanket towel. It could be a hand towel, it could be a bath towel, and you have it even down sort of to the, mid to upper trunk. Okay, so if you would like to get hold of that, please do. If that doesn't interest you, you can just cradle the head as you would normally and use that version. Okay, so let's begin. Like I said, you might want to immediately collect your hand weights and come into a grounded, rooted connection through the feet. We're going to bring the heels towards the midline and stand in that classical Joseph Pilates V stance. And as you send your arms downwards, so as you connect to this energy of lengthening through the arms, and the weights are sort of helping the shoulders draw out of the ears, close your eyes if it's appropriate and have a moment of alignment, breathing and centering. So sense rooting through the feet and legs, drawing the shoulders down, so broad and wide, no pinching of the neck, arms away from your ears, tops of shoulders away from the earlobes. And then as you close your eyes or just re-enter the breath, a sense of expanding on the inhale and on your exhale. Connecting to core tone, connecting to the postural muscles. Of course, we have this lovely idea of being in the center, finding center. So that's through that midline, and that's the soft spine. And if you like, the skeletal spine, the whole spinal column from the tailbone to the top of the neck spine, the cervical spine. We've also got this idea in Pilates method of a level pelvis, a pelvis that is not rotating and not dropping on one side and not tucking or thrusting. So access all of those points for the moment, please, just noticing. Inhaling as you exhale, let a sense of the corset muscles coming through. So lacing up your corset, but remember that breathing mindfully throughout your practice is important. So you really don't want to suck the navel into the spine to the point where you can't breathe. Bring the weights now on top of your shoulders with the elbows, just releasing down. Connect to the breath and then just begin to create little angel wings. And these can be small circles as if generated from your elbows. And you can see from my demo that I'm just starting off with some really soft, gentle, moderate circles. Yours might find a larger pattern of movement or a faster pace. And then as you do so, observe that sense of flaring of those ribs. And try not to do that. So let's avoid the flaring and instead keep connecting to the corsetry through the core musculature. And then raise the elbows up. So just coming to that kind of coat hanger. Yeah, I like to call this coat hanger. It's kind of just not quite cradling the head. I'm going to peel the right arm up and over. And let the part of the arm just sit on top of the head, or of course it can be elevated up. I'm going to let it sit on top. Inhale, exhale, lengthening the sides, and then slide over. So the left elbow goes to the left, and then maybe you release the left elbow down Lengthen down through that left arm. So again, that hand weight kind of help draw you down. Squeeze between the left armpit and the hip. Access this pelvis. So again, try not to turn and rotate. Keep everything in that midline. Reach out through that top arm. Notice your head and neck. So face this forward. And then exhaling, exhaling, pull everything back to center. And now that right arm is elevated, and we'll take a big circle or half circle down. So you can come up here, front raise, inhale, exhale, spiral and circle a half circle, or you can come all the way around a large circle, coming inwards, internal rotation to external rotation, or coming external to internal. Just notice how you feel. If you have to sort of soften the elbow and create a kind, circle with less of a long arm, then find that. And then just roll off at the end of those 3 or 4 half or full circles. Inhale, exhale. Let's bring the weights back up to the shoulders, spread out the chest, and then peel the left arm up, and it comes up and over in a style that feels complementary to your practice this morning. Keep hold of the weight carefully, but without over gripping the hand. And then just engage the gluteals. So in this lower leg area, if you bend your knees, you're going to be in a plie. So we sip and hollow, pull through that midline. Slide over to the right side, the right elbow draws down, breathe all the way through, releasing the right arm, and that weight is just engaging tone through the arm and shoulder, drawing the shoulder out of the ear. Check in with the head and neck. You might need to draw the head back or tuck the chin. Peel, extend and float, reach the left arm overhead if that's appropriate, bend over to the side a little bit more, breathing. And then access a mindful release. Maybe you're looking in the mirror, your left arm is now overhead, and you'll exhale, sweep around to the side. Inhale up and over. So a half or a full circle. As I say, you can come forward into front raise, inhale, and exhale to the side, or you can create your own symmetrical circular circles, trying to find that ease of action on both sides of your body. And then open out the palms. Just connect to the toes, so create space between each toe, lifting all the toes. Big opening to the side. So we've got the weights here looking like, cheek candles. Breathing in across that chest, and then exhale down. And then you can start moving faster. But just watch that you're not kind of flapping wings. So you're opening out widely, inhale, exhale down, connecting, or you're going to be moving a little faster. And if you want to raise the arms higher, so you come into this kind of lovely capital Y, yes, to energy this morning, and then draw down. That is your choice. So finding your own embodiment. So really finding that even though when we are on online classes and we're copying the guidance and being guided by the coach and the teacher, that sometimes it's good to just really close your eyes now and then and come into the felt sense of your own practice, so that you feel not just the shoulder girdle, not just the strength through the arms, the upper back, mid back, lower back, but also the legs. So whole body practice. And you may have found 10 or 12 or 15 reps, or you might be using much heavier weights, and that will dictate that moment when your body says, that's enough, I've done enough, I can feel the benefit of the practice, but I don't need to overdo it. So we're going to keep the arms now out to the sides. Inhale, exhale, and just hold steady, isometric hold. And now as you exhale, draw the weights forward, shoulders down, and they can touch, of course, or they can be apart. And as you inhale now, take the arms back a little so you find scapulae squeeze. Exhale and inhale. Hug through that midline. Once again, if it's appropriate to speed up, do so. But watch that speeding up doesn't mean that you pinch your neck, grip your teeth, or start to swing your body forward and back. So how can you tell if you're really starting to swing? Well, obviously, first of all, your torso will move a lot. Secondly, you might find that the weight transfers through your feet differently. So you'll feel the weight kind of coming into the toe bases and then into the heels. So it's really important when you're in your standing practice to check in with centering through the feet. Now, if in the V stance you're not understanding that quite so well, then walk off the V stance, shake out the feet and legs, and bring your legs parallel with the ankles centered below the knees. So yes, it would be lovely to have parallel feet, parallel all the way through, but important is that you use the knees as a guidance, so kneecaps facing forward. And you're somewhat here, and maybe you have had enough of that scapulae squeeze, and then we're going to rotate the palms down, slide them towards those hips, a little wiggle of the shoulders, and then arm press back. Now, as you arm press back, just in this first round, have the weights come towards the hips and thighs, 10 toes facing forward, possibility to add in a knee bend. So sometimes quite nice just to add that knee bend in and hug through the inner thighs. And then really press back with intention and coming back to the sides of those thighs. Reel the head back in, chin is level. Breathing in and out throughout. Once again, if you're using the moderate weights, I'm just holding the 1 kilo ones today, then you'll probably manage 15 or 20 reps. And if you're bending the knees, remember that we're not going into some kind of deep squat. We're just sliding down a wall, hugging through that midline, trying to keep that chest open. Inhaling, exhaling all the way through. Now and again, you might want to exhale through the mouth. And then take a standing position, bring the weights out a little wider on the arm press back, and start to tap back. So this is bending at the wrist, one left and one right, or both together. So you can do alternates or both together. You sort of bend the wrists as if you are touching little buttons behind you. Soften the knees without bending them. Perhaps go a little faster. You might need to go narrower. Tap, 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 or wider. And you might need to change a little bit the angle of the arms and the wrists. And after a short while, you should feel this really activating the muscles of the arms and the nerves, and it's kind of a flossing. Breathing, pulling those shoulders out of the ears, arms are long. Tap, 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 tap. And then release, float the arms to the shoulder height, inhale. Maybe you bring them to the heights of your eyes, or even a little bit towards the crown, and then exhale all the way through, squeeze. Breathing in, shoulder height or above, exhale. Front raise, inhale, and exhale, press. Again, you can choose what feels appropriate to your body. Does it feel appropriate to be really quite narrow through that front raise and narrow through the arm press back? Or do you want to come out wider? And really, I would love you to always explore different variations. How's it going through the feet? Can you feel that you are rooted and grounded and feet are centered? Breathe and exhaling, inhaling, exhaling. Keep going with the breath. Keep the corset on. Really well done. You might start to feel those shoulders tingling. And then coming into what we might know as goalpost or cactus arms. Inhale, exhale, and then just take the fingertips or the weights to the tops of the shoulders. So coming back into that kind of coat hanger and out and in. Squeeze. Now, this is not really a bicep curl, as you know, but get maybe the feeling sense of hugging around those upper arms. So as you squeeze here, can you also activate between the armpit and the hip? And if you're really well connected to your muscles and you've used your muscles a lot through Pilates or other sporting activities in your life, you'll even be able to feel the muscles of your back. So you don't necessarily have to tap. You can open and squeeze. Now, for me, with these 1 kilo weights, this is a fairly easy action. So coming to a faster pace seems appropriate. And again, exhale through the mouth, release a sigh. You might have found 10, 15 or 20. Circle round to the front now. Nice shrug and release. Let the weights be held palms up. Elbows not glued and rounding, but just hug the elbows towards your midline. And classical bicep curls, the half one for 10. 9, squeeze, 8, and 6, 3, and 2, and 1, and then all the way down, and the long curl. Another set of 10. This is good for not just the muscles that support your back and shoulder girdle, but also for toning and mobilization of the elbow joints, keeping them working well. And then finally 10 of bicep curl 2, so you'll see the palms in your peripheral vision. 10 and 9. Hugging through that corset, body is centered, crown lengthening. And if like me you've lost count, never mind, let's go to finish now for 5 and 4, 3, 2, and 1. And then rest the weights back on the shoulders again. And just finish with some rolling back, angel wings. Really juicy ones, and then maybe 3 or 4 rolling forward. Now I'm going to carefully place the weights down and interlace the fingers, turn the palms away, bring the gaze up, so there's like a full body stretch, and then center the head, ease out those ribs, pulling from side to side, and then take that cradled head, cradled palms, into a cradled head position. And use now a little energetic roll down. So soften the knees just a little, inhale and expand the chest and tilt the pelvis so that you open through that front body. And you want to let the back of the skull rest into the head. So you look to the point where the wall meets the ceiling, you expand and you breathe in and breathe out and feel that. Really feel that lovely lung opening, rib cage opening, flaring. And then when you're ready, you're going the other way. So hood in, so draw in, scoop in, follow the belly. You can tuck the chin in towards the heart center or the navel. And then if you wish, you can follow on down as if Pilates roll down. Forward fold from the pelvis. Once you get into that roll down, obviously roll out through the head, release the arms, let them dangle. Sigh away. Now bring the nest of palms back around the skull. So a little bit of weight there through that neck, nodding. And press the feet. Hug that belly. And your role here is to find as much mobilization as possible. So really pay attention to the slow exit. Check your pelvis, check your hips. Start to feel the torso stacking. You're still looking into your heart, even when you kind of come back. And then right at the end, when you feel ready, you bring your face back up. And then we'll just bring the elbows out and back a few times like this. And then release, and then come to the bottom of the mat and a regular roll down. So hands are resting down by the sides of the legs, feet are pressing hip wide, look to your toes, exhaling as you slide down. Lovely dangle in a kind of ragdoll, and then come to sitting. And if it's not okay to sit like that, then obviously sit differently. And once you're sitting, knees are bent, feet are resting, or heels are in the mat, take a position where you can restack your spine, eyes forward, breathing in, and as you breathe out, scoop the tailbone, hug the sit bones to the buttocks, start your seated curl down, slide the hands, the backs of the thighs, or press the palms to those outside thighs, shoulders down. Inhale, exhale, feel your halfway roll down, and then press and slide back. Now this looks really like a beginner's move, but by pressing those palms into the thighs, you will also engage your arms, and you'll maybe even feel a little shadow of energy through those biceps again. So tall sitting, sitting with compassion and kindness to yourself. Inhale as you exhale, scoop round. Sit bones hug towards the heels, slide back enough, and press the palms strongly into the flesh of the thighs, meet the bones, inhale, exhale. And then when you're ready, inhale and glide back, exhale and stay. One more like that. Tall sitting, breathe in. Exhale, rounding, scoop all the way, include the upper abdominals of the rectus abdominis. Scoot down, press palms in. You can flare your hands and fingers, or the fingers and thumbs can join. Inhale, exhale, stay here. Go a little lower, inhale, exhale, stay here. And a little lower. And then finally release. And let's all take those knees into the chest. Hug and rock. And as you hug and rock, now keep the right thigh in and place your left foot down on the mat, and you can hold the back of your thigh if it's better for you, and then circle your ankle. Circle slowly and mindfully so you really find a good circle. Make sure that you're doing this in both directions, please. Circle, circle, circle. Release. Now into the left. Take the left thigh into the body. Just support the thigh if necessary. And turn your ankle. And slow this down. If for some reason your ankle is only finding a capital D. So remember, we're trying to find the letter O, and are you guiding that circle from a lot of accessory movement in your toes, or are you turning the ankle from your heel bone? So just notice how is it a simple movement? How do you find that in your body? And when you release the feet down, just lift the head and neck, and as you lift the head and neck, please set the pelvis neutral. So you may want to lift the bum, and just lengthen your spine away and let the sacrum land. And as you lay the head down, imprint the pelvis. So this is when we tilt and we tuck. So it's a tilting forward and a tilting backward of your pelvis. And what you want to imagine is just a lovely sense of a rocking chair, the runners of a rocking chair. So your bum is gliding over the mat, forward and back, and you're feeling the arch in the lumbar increase, followed by an exhalation where you draw in. Now that tucking is now not happening as you level off that pelvis. Remember I said we were going to use towel, upper body curl-up? Well, you can cradle head if you wish, otherwise take hold of your towel or blanket, and you'll have to find a way to hold this cleverly. So just coming around the sides and, you know, literally using that cradle outwards. So the arms are wide, the chest is open, breathing in as you breathe out. Towel assist curl. Exhale. And inhale, lay back, eyes to the sky. Full inhale on the mat. Slide your feet a little tiny bit further forward so your heavy weight of your tail and sacrum is felt. You exhale to curl up and notice, where is your gaze? Are you looking towards the tops of the knees? Are you still looking towards the diagonal, to where the point of the wall meets the ceiling? So inhale, exhale here. Lay your head back into the towel or blanket support. Feel the abdominals connect and try to avoid tucking that pelvis. So you want to feel able to spread a flat triangle from the pubic bones to the root of you. And then you may wish to lay down again and spread out those arms. So explore the movement for maybe 3 or 4 moderate to slow motion. And then you might want to pick up pace and start to curl faster, but without losing your technique. Now try not to over grip your prop. Little exhales every time you curl. It's lovely to find time to rest and breathe in and breathe out and re-establish your center. And then take the right knee above the hip, and as you float it up, notice that you did not press through the left leg and foot in order to bring that right knee above the hip, and then let the right foot land on thin ice. So engage the muscles of the core and the gluteals, float the left knee above the hip into tabletop legs. Please make this super precise, and then float and kiss the left foot down. Floating the right, hug, squeeze the muscles of the pelvis, inner thigh and gluteal, take the foot down, floating the left, and let the foot kiss down. Now, curl up, use the towel method, or if you want to release that now, you can of course change to a cradle to head position and work into a lifting, slightly more squeezy lift of those shoulder blades drawing off of the mat, but without tugging that head in. So really find that traction where you push and press the back of your skull into the towel or into the cradle. Floating the right, squeeze the glute, take it down, kiss. Floating the left, squeeze, and take it down. Now float right and left, keep them lifted, readjust your center, and we'll go. Right foot lands, squeeze back. Left foot lands, it kisses, it squeezes back. It lands. You walk those feet, but you do not clunk down. It is not a heel tap or a toe tap. It is whole foot landing, curl a little higher, draw back. Whole foot releases, pause, draw back. Please make this slow motion. Now, if you need a little more abdominal energy, Both feet land and they draw back with control, no bouncing. Both feet land, squeeze and pull back. If you sense that your back is being irritated, you go back to your single alternates. Land, squeeze, kiss, and land. And maybe again you try another double and squeeze, and a double and squeeze. A lovely pattern is to go right, left, squeeze, double, left and right, but lands, and then a double. You can lay down, release your arms, take the gaze to the sky, and continue your practice. Left, right, breathe, feel, and then a double, and squeeze back. And finish the pair that you're on. And then please hug and stir and circle your thighs. And I didn't mention this, but in actual fact, an extra prop that may help you find your abdominals in the lower abdomen and even that sense of pelvic floor could be your scatter cushion or your yoga block or brick. So if you want to, join me now and place that between your inner thighs and come back to laying on the back body. Just going to get that out of the way. And lengthen out. If you had to get up to get your prop. We're going back to tabletop legs. Now sealing through those inner thighs or finding your prop. And then notice how when the knees come in towards you, it's kind of a lift of the buttocks up. And we really want to align those femur bones fully parallel. Palms press down to earth. All the palms turn up to the sky. Option to place the elbows into the side body with the bent elbows and just the upper arms on the mat. So we're moving into hip roll. So as the legs move over to the right, keep avoiding your head turning left, yeah? So keep the gaze up towards the sky, shoulder blades draw down the back, hover, 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 challenge, and then squeeze and draw those legs back to center. Toes are softly pointed or feet are fully engaged and flexed. Legs to the left, hover, head, body and torso stays centered, and hug and squeeze back to center. Keep going. Breathe and feel. Access the midline, draw back. Hug and squeeze through that midline. And you draw back. Now from here, keep going, please. But again, if you want to offer more strength to your Pilates hip roll, you can bend your elbows holding your hand weights, or you can reach your arms up towards the sky. So now you have created a more unstable position. So as you hover in your hip roll, you haven't got any part of the arm muscles or bones hugging into the mat. And therefore, you have to be much more mindful and measured about how far you sway those legs left and right. So enjoy the variations. And then once again, finish the pair that you're currently using. And then as you release from your hip roll, no rushing, bring your feet down. Perhaps keep the block there, hugging that block or not, and re-establish your spinal length and your centering. You might have gone a little bit diagonal on the mat, so you might want to lift the head and just come back to the foundation of laying on your back. Once again, picking up the weights if you wish to, Float the arms overhead, thumbs face the thighs. Breathing in, take your arms maybe to the edge of the jawline and soften the mouth. In through the nose, tone the abdomen, squeeze through the block if you're using it, hug the glutes in. Exhale, long arm curl up, and arms come down to mat. Inhale, arms to sky. Exhale, lift and reach the fingers to your heels. When you bring the arms overhead, what you're avoiding is a flare of those ribs. So I see people in group just take the arms all the way over and kind of land them behind. And that feels quite attractive to the body. It's an upper body stretch. But you then have to notice what is going on through the Pilates method and through your century. So try to notice your tendencies and improve your practice. So Pilates, a long arm curl up with semi-supine. Remember to watch out for the tucking of the pelvis. And we're keeping that pelvis heavy and grounded. Now on the next one, curl up and stay. And toy soldier arms. Keep the body centered, you're curling up, you're just moving those arms up and down, squeezing through that midline, and then begin to change the legs again. So lift both legs up, inhale, exhale, lengthen legs if you can, inhale, exhale, curl a little higher, and then bring those legs slowly to 45 angle, hug, 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 squeeze, and then bend, arms out, slide down. Yes, you can keep that block if you want, but I've taken mine out. Interlace the fingers, full body stretch. Take those arms overhead. And then cradling, so where we've got those fingers interlaced together, now bring that cradle back again behind the back of the head. Bring the left knee in, bring the right knee in. Massage and rock. Curl up, knees above the hips, femur bones parallel, hooding through the head or widening the elbows, connect to the navel, and then reach your left heel away, long and strong, and see if you can kiss that heel down and pull back. Right heel reaches away, elongate, kiss and pull back, or just lengthen away in classical single leg extend. So we're going to go now for 10 and 10, 9 and 9. Each set is 1. 5. 'Notice where you're gazing. Hugging and wrapping. 2, 2, and 1. And 1, and 0, and 0. Okay, breathe, feel, and rest. Or now transition to crisscross. So as your right leg extends away, turn and try and bring the right shoulder to the left thigh. You can continue to have those flexed feet, or you can point your toes. Try and lift the shoulders up and away rather than touch the elbow to the knee. So keep trying to encourage refinement of your practice by lifting those shoulders up and away. And your body will start to create a tingle. There'll be some lovely fire in your belly. So enjoy it. And then breathe it out. Rest it out. Take a floor twist. Maybe feel more breath space in your body. Fold the knees into the chest again. Cradle the knees. And just delight with some swimming breaststroke leg hip circle. So bring the knees together towards the chest, out and wide, wide together and around. Crisscross in Pilates method also engages a lovely tone through the heart. And then start to roll up and balance. So as you scoop and roll, you know, your toes might fly up, squeeze the feet together, hollow that belly, balance. And then take the feet down. Make sure you're sitting well. And float the arms forward. Again, of course, your choice as to whether you take your weights. Inhale, open out, turn left, look over that left shoulder, spread the arms, and as you exhale, take the arm up, over, and back. And you need a strong core for this because sitting well involves those postural muscles, and moving the arms from your center also requires that shoulder mobility. Inhale the right, sit tall, and pause, exhale, over you come. Finish the pair, your arms, circle your wrists in both directions. You can slide your legs long and mat wide, so you have just a soft opening, or you can keep your knees bent and mat wide, or somewhere in between. And then make a hoop with your arms or hold your weights. Breathe in as you exhale, hollow scoop the belly back, the body and belly back, and round forward, spine reach forward. Inhale, exhale again, spine reach forward. Point or flex those feet according to how is your practice. And if you are able to flex the feet and you've gotten that far, hold around the feet and toes and create resistance. So as you pull your sternum forward, not your chin, crown forward, scoop the belly back and create resistance. Rounding. This can be quite a delicious spinal stretch. Sweep the legs round now. Press the palms into the mat. Hip wide, mat wide, shoulder wide. Squeeze through the legs according to your position. Hip wide, shoulder wide, or mat wide legs. I like to zip those legs together. Squeeze those heels. Look at the feet. Stack the ankles above the toe bases. Pilates plank. Breathing, hugging in. Everything feels powerful and energized. After that practice, lift your hips up. Walk your hands towards your feet. You come onto really high heels. Pilates pike. And then land the feet. Dangle in ragdoll. Press through. Hollow out. Restack. Ease out those shoulders. Big circle, inhaling, standing well. And bring the palms in to that belly. Give yourself a little